This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again.
For the first time in more than 130 years, a presidential candidate is set to be our commander-in-chief to serve non-consecutive terms. Good morning, I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Jordan Chavez. Good morning, everybody. This morning, NBC News is projecting former President Donald Trump to be the 47th president of the United States. Up until now, Grover Cleveland was the only president to serve non-consecutive terms.
So this is a look right now at the electoral map. A lot of eyes were on those swing states, more specifically Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's right. Trump was able to flip Pennsylvania and Georgia, which President Biden won in the 2020 election. Trump also won North Carolina, and he is currently leading in Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Now, it is still not confirmed just yet that Trump will become the 47th president, as ballots are still being counted in several states.
Now we want to turn to our other big story of the morning. It is a busy morning here on 9 News Mornings. Of course, the snow. This is a live look at Denver. You can just see the snow that dumped on the metro area overnight. Several inches of snow fell in the metro to the foothills. Of course, the high country got a lot of fresh powder as well. This is why we have called a weather impact day. Meteorologist Chris Bianchi is joining us right now. Several areas will continue to see snowfall throughout the day.
Yeah, especially south of downtown Denver. I think the heaviest, steadiest snow is probably going on right now. It'll gradually fizzle out as we head through the rest of the day today. My suspicion is in Denver is that the majority of our accumulation pretty much done. Just because the sun's out now, the snow's gonna have a hard time sticking to roads at this point with that sun being up. And even with the clouds in place, it's still, the sun's still impacting some of that melting out there. Meantime, 9.5 inches for us in Monument, 8 inches. I actually just got a report of 8.1 inches in Castle Rock. So for the South Metro area, quite the storm to start the season off here, folks, and this may be the appetizer storm compared to what comes up for Friday and Saturday. But the steadier, heavier snow, mainly east of Denver, really Fort Morgan, Lyman on east. That's where you're seeing the heavier stuff right now. In Denver, we're starting to pull in some drier air. You might notice some little blips of kind of white within there, and that's just giving us an indication that we're starting to get things wrapped on up. Temperatures right now, upper 20s for us in Denver, and we got winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories covering most of the state. In the metro area, those winter weather advisories going to be for 3 to 6 inches of snow. That goes till 11 p.m. tonight. Today, 35 for us in Denver, cold and cloudy with some morning snow. Temperatures gradually rising up as we gradually kind of fizzle out some of that snowfall. Those overall headlines, more snow likely for Friday and Saturday. Of details on that coming up here in the next few minutes. But I'm going to send things over to Lauren Scafidi, who's tracking a lot of that snow on the ground. And Lauren, I mentioned how we're seeing those temperatures a little bit warmer. The sun's coming out. How are the roads out there? Are they wet or are they snow covered?
Yeah, we're downtown Castle Rock right now. I'll give you a look at what I'm seeing right here. You can see that the snow is kind of piled up in the center of the road there, but otherwise where we're driving is pretty much fine through downtown, which is great because when we were driving on 25 earlier, we kind of saw a mix up. It was depending on what stretch we were at that we saw either kind of conditions like this or we couldn't even tell what lane we were in. So it's really just going to depend on where you're driving. But if you take a look at some of the trees, if you can see the branches in the camera, they're really kind of hanging low. That's because the snow is really that wet, heavy snow. It's piling up on those branches and just kind of weighing everything down. So that's what we're seeing. If you kind of see on your left-hand side of the screen, you see people shoveling out there. I don't know, they might be a little bit too small to see. But either way, we will keep an eye on this. We're going to keep on traveling. Maybe we'll hop back on I-25. But Erica, this definitely has implications all over the roads this morning. Yeah. What are you seeing besides right here in Castle Rock?
No, we're seeing it really all across the area, metro down south where you have been, as well as out along C-470 in Morrison, where our photojournalist Manny Sotelo is. Looks like whiteout conditions nearly out here. Really snow-packed out here on C-470 this morning. So not a great situation. That car looks like they're going way too fast. Can't even see the lane lines out there. Please be careful as you head out the door. Let's take you over to our CDOT cameras this morning. This is in the high country, I-70 and the West Centralville chain station. Mostly dry on the interstate, few semis pulled off in that area. This is south of the metro, I-25 and Monument this morning, where we are very snow-packed and snow-covered, but volume is very light. Highway 36 in McCaslin, for some reason, CDOT moved the camera around. I wanted to show you the crash we've been dealing with a couple lanes blocked off, but not sure what they're showing us up that way. Looks like someone spun out here off of 2 225 in Alameda this morning, so we do have emergency crews out this way. Again, that's on the southbound side. Let's go ahead and bring you over to our map. A lot I need to run through right now. Denver to Boulder Drive being impacted because of that crash on westbound Highway 36 and McCaslin this morning. 30-minute travel time. That's about a 15-minute backup in the red. Over a 40-minute drive time right now for your commute between E470 and 76. We were just looking at that vehicle that spun out southbound 225 Alameda. Check out that drive time. 35 minutes for your commute between I-70 and I-25. Normal is around 10 minutes. East side of our state, the eastern portion of Colorado, really impacted by snow still falling out there from Byers through Lyman all the way to the Kansas border. It's a slow ride on both sides of I-70. Northbound I-25 in the red as well. Your drive between Castle Rock and 225 up to 44 minutes. Normal is around 16 minutes.
They'll switch. All right, Erica, thank you. We appreciate it. 7:06 now on your Wednesday morning. And a handful of schools have made some changes. Albert School District 200, for instance, is taking a snow day. You can find the full list on 9news.com and the 9 News app, which is free to download. We have a lot more weather coverage coming up here on 9 News and on 9 News Plus. All right, we want to get back to your election headlines right now, because this morning we do know that Donald Trump will return to the White House in January. We also know Republicans have won control of the Senate, but the House is still up for grabs.
And one Colorado race that will help determine the balance of power in the House is still too close to call this morning. We're talking about CD8, the battle between Democratic incumbent Yadira Caraveo and Republican challenger Gabe Evans. 9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez joins us live in studio. What's the latest on this race?
Yeah, so still no winner for this race. I've actually been checking on our 9 News website for the latest, and it's no surprise that Colorado District 8 is still so incredibly close. When we look at this race 2 years ago, it was roughly 1,600 votes that pushed current Representative Dr. Yadira Caraveo to victory. Now, the latest numbers show that Caraveo is currently ahead with nearly 50% of the votes. Republican challenger Gabe Evans has nearly 48%. So we did expect this to be a tight race. Caraveo did not appear actually at her watch party last night, which suggests that her campaign expected this to be an overnight morning situation, which is the same thing that happened back in 2022, the first year for District 8. Caraveo's team released this statement saying in part, quote, "It's early and this race is too close to call. Our team is closely monitoring votes as they come in, and they're also cautiously optimistic about where we are." Now, for Gabe Evans, it was a long night at his watch party. He took the podium late last night around 11 to address his supporters, saying this was to be expected and to have faith. Evans is a former Nevada police officer and military vet who is looking to further the GOP standing in the House. He pushed through the primaries with an endorsement from former President Donald Trump, but has since separated himself from some of Trump's policy proposals. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this. I've been checking 9news.com. You can also check it out, and I'll keep you updated both on air, online, as well as 9 News Plus. But for now, let's send things over to Courtney, because you're also following other races that were on people's ballots.
Yeah, Brianna, it was a long ballot for Colorado voters this election cycle around, and we are going to take a look at some of these here. We'll start with Proposition 131, which would have changed how Coloradans elect people here in our state. It failed, and supporters of the measure conceded last night around 10 p.m. Shad Marib, chair of the Democratic Party, released a statement on behalf of those opposed to the measure saying, quote, "Proposition 131 would have sacrificed the safety and security of our election system for the whims of special interests and big corporations whose pay-to-play tactics would have flooded the state with even more dark money." Again, this proposition did not pass, so our elections here in Colorado will stay the same that they always have been. Now, moving on to Amendment 80, constitutional rights to school choice. The Associated Press has not called this one yet. Here are the current numbers. 52% of voters are saying no, and around 48% are saying yes. Because this is a constitutional amendment, it needs 55% of the vote to pass. If it doesn't pass, nothing changes, and school choice remains state law as it has since 1994. But if it passes, Amendment 80 puts school choice into the state's constitution, and that comes with some legal questions, like could public tax dollars be used for private education? That could be in the form of a school voucher and could end up in court if parents wanted tax dollars for private education. Coming up in the next half hour, I'll take a look at some of the other state ballot measures. And in studio right now, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
All right, Courtney, thank you.